The SEBI Grade A examination, the saga continues. I can hardly imagine how long it has been. It's been such a long time, and we are still nowhere near this examination. But finally, SEBI has actually given you an option to withdraw your application if you want, or you can change your exam center as well. So, if you have filled in the form within July till the end of October, you can actually withdraw your application or change the center. And there is a slight good news that now you can get a paper 2 of your examination if you are from the IT or the legal stream from Olive Board, and you can go check it out from the links in the description. And of course, you can also get the monthly capsules and also the free mini mocks, which are also going to help you for this examination. And of course, if you want a full course for the SEBI Grade A 2020 examination, that is also provided by Olive Board. You can get study notes, you can get live classes, you can get mock tests, and all the important things you need to get selection in this examination. So let us begin with our video. Hi, this is Shupriyo. Let us begin with the SEBI current affairs for the month of July 2020. So the first item for today, SEBI imposed fines on Divi's Laboratories on insider trading charges. So insider trading, this is, as you can understand by now, a very important thing of SEBI, and SEBI actively strives to prevent companies from engaging in it, and so they have imposed 96 lakh rupees of fine on the CFO of the company and his close associates. Now why did this happen? It is happening because in July 2017 the company had announced that US FDA would lift import alert 9932 on the company's unit 2 at Visakhapatnam, and this was a UPSI or an unpublished price sensitive information. Now this import alert 9932, this is actually placed on a company if the US FDA officials are not allowed to enter it and they cannot check whether everything is in sanitary conditions or not. So that is the alert. So the company said that this alert, it would be removed and they would be operating as normal, and this meant that they are approved by the US FDA. And because of this news, what the CFO and his associates did, they had made trades while this price sensitive info was not yet publicly disclosed. So because the public did not know about this, when the public comes to know, the price is going to go up, right? So the CFO and the other people, they actually made some illegal trades during this time, and that is why SEBI has imposed this 96 lakh fine on this company. So this is all about this first item for today. Now let us go to the second item. SEBI tightens the norms for its RIAs, the registered investment advisors. So you can get a SEBI registration as an investment advisor. So these RIAs, they must do client level segregation so that they cannot offer advice and distribution services to the same client. So what's the difference between advice and distribution? So advice means that you are telling the client which stocks or which mutual funds you actually want to invest in, and distribution means that you are getting commission by selling that kind of an investment. So you cannot sell and tell which to buy at the same time. So that is why client level segregation, that has to be done right now. And also the net worth requirement for the individual advisors has been raised to 5 lakh rupees. Earlier it was 1 lakh only, and the corporate RIAs, they have to maintain now 50 lakh rupees. This was earlier 25 lakh, and the individual RIAs who have greater than 150 clients must become corporate RIAs. So they have to transition, and the non-RIAs, they cannot use the names like IFA or wealth advisor. This is very important. So IFA, it means independent financial advisor, and non-RIAs, they cannot use this IFA or wealth advisor tag any longer. Now let us move to number 3. SEBI approves the MCX to launch gold mini options. So MCX, it is the multi commodity exchange. This is the place where you can do commodity derivatives trades, and now they are going to launch the gold mini options. So these will be special type of options, and the underlying for that is going to be gold mini 100 grams bars. So that is the underlying. And of course, if you are unsure about what the underlying is or what are futures and options, I have made a separate video on this topic. I encourage you to check it out because you will be able to understand all about derivatives, and it is going to be very useful for your examination. And the maximum single order size, it will be 100 lots. And also note that a gold options contract derivative has gold as the underlying asset and allows two parties to facilitate a potential transaction on a set quantity of gold. So you can basically have some options on your gold holdings. So that is what the gold mini options will be doing, and MCX is going to launch it very soon. And now coming to number 4, SEBI contemplating to permit futures trading in petrol and diesel. This is a very important news, and if this happens, then it will change a lot of the things in the derivatives markets. So the reason this is being discussed is that commodity derivative trading was not disrupted in the COVID era. So SEBI wants to permit futures trading in petrol or diesel directly. Currently, you can only trade crude oil futures. So crude oil futures are only allowed, and recently we have also discussed about crude oil futures in our previous videos. You can go check it out. And another interesting thing to note is that 70% of total cost of petrol and diesel are comprised of local taxes. So it will allow price hedging. So this means that you can hedge your price if you are a big consumer of this kind of petrol or diesel, and this will be helping you a lot if this actually starts. So SEBI had also banned futures trade in Tur and Urad in 2007, and now they are looking to unban them. So they may unban these also, and they may start the futures trading in petrol and diesel. So that is all about this news. Let us move to item number 5. CBDT and SEBI will now share information regularly. So what's the CBDT? It is the Central Board of Direct Taxes. They are responsible for all kind of direct taxes in India, and now the tax regulator and the capital markets regulator both will investigate on transactions. So this is going to be very useful. So because both of these bodies, they are actually investigating all the illegal transactions and all the different kinds of company data. Now if they are working together, then they can piece this together to ensure transparency in the markets. And also note that recently CBDT and CBIC, now this is the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs, they have also signed a pact to share data and information. This helped to match the sales reported in GST returns with those reported in income tax returns. So GST and income tax, they easily could check, and then they could find out if somebody was doing anything illegal. And in a similar way, the same thing will be done with SEBI, and it will help them to stop tax evasion, price manipulation of penny stocks, etc. So these things are going to be helped by this information sharing. Number 6, SEBI rejects CRA demands to withdraw ratings of non-cooperative issuers. So CRA, these are the credit rating agencies. We have already talked a lot about them, and the CRAs, they had actually written to RBI and SEBI to stop rating issuers of instruments and bank loans that are not cooperating by giving inadequate information. So if any company was not giving them enough information, then they cannot judge properly, right? That is why they had approached these bodies, and they had requested that we do not want to rate these issuers. But as per all the regulations that we right now have, it is mandatory for the CRAs to rate all of these issuers, and SEBI has also told them that you cannot stop this, you have to continue. So right now rating can only be withdrawn if a bank issues an NOC, which is a no objection certificate, or 75% of bond issuers agree, or if the instrument or loan has been assigned a D or default rating. So SEBI has not agreed, as the investors are going to suffer, and it affects about 10,000 companies. So suddenly if the issues of these 10,000 companies, the ratings were stopped, then the investors will be left in a lurch, right? So taking that into consideration, SEBI has said that they cannot allow this to happen. Let us move to number 7. SEBI revamps advisory committee on regulation development of mutual funds. This is a very important news as well. So right now it is a 20-member advisory committee on mutual funds, and it is headed by Usha Thorat, who is the former deputy governor of RBI. Now earlier it was a 15-member committee, and now it has become a 20-member committee, so remember that. And the members of this committee include officials of various fund houses like Franklin Templeton, Kotak Mahindra, SBI Mutual Fund, Motilal Oswal, etc. So all the major fund houses of India have a representation in this body, and they are going to advise on how to develop and regulate the mutual fund industry in India. So they are going to work closely with SEBI on this regard. Number 8, SEBI barred 11 firms from securities market for GDR manipulation. Now this is a very gross offense, and that is why they have barred these firms. So the banned entities, they include
Pharmax India, Vintage FZD, India Focus Cardinal Fund, High Blue Sky Emerging Market Fund, etc. And this matter, it involves $59.92 million GDR issue. Now they won't be able to access the Indian securities markets for a range of 2 to 5 years. So they have been banned for that tenure. And what had they actually done, because of which SEBI had to do all of these things? So using URAM Bank, these firms had illegally subscribed to GDRs and inflated company capital without proper consideration. So they had illegally subscribed to the GDRs and they had inflated the company's capital. So this was a gross violation for which the SEBI has penalized them. Now let us move to item number 9. And before we do that, if you are preparing for SEBI Grade A 2020 in the legal or IT streams, you can check out Olive Board's courses for those streams. They have a complete collection of paper 2 for these subjects. You can also check out their monthly capsules by which they can give you more general awareness. You will also get free mini mocks from Olive Board, and if you are interested, you can get a full SEBI Grade A 2020 course from Olive Board. They have study notes, they have mock tests, they have complete videos on each and every topic and all the important things you need to get success in this examination. You can check the links in the description and in the pinned comment and you can get access to these things. So let's continue with number 9. Edelweiss Financial Services Compliance Officer was fined 5 lakh rupees by SEBI. So this was actually done because the officer B. Renganathan had failed to close the trading window during the existence of unpublished price sensitive information, the UPSI. Now this was in violation of Prevention of Insider Trading regulations between January 2017 and April 2017. So they had violated these regulations, and the thing is that after the financial info is prepared, the trading window must be closed so that UPSI is not leaked out. So you have to close the trading window, but what this person had done, he had kept it open so that people could still perform some trades, and this was certainly not as per the norms, and that is why this person was fined by SEBI. Now let us move to item number 10. SEBI released framework to enable verification of upfront margin collection. So this will enable verification of upfront collection of margins from clients in cash and derivative segments. It comes into effect from December 1, 2020. And also note that these clearing corporations, they are going to send minimum of 4 snapshots of client-wise margin requirements to trading member TM or clearing member CM to know intraday margin requirement per client. So they must now send these snapshots, and this will actually make it easier to verify the upfront margin collection. And this was just a framework that SEBI has designed so that this can be easily facilitated. Let us move to number 11. SEBI reviews stress testing methods for commodity derivatives. Now this decision, it was taken with clearing corporations due to concerns of high stress loss figures on positions with early pay in. Now what does early pay in mean? It basically means that the date on which you are supposed to settle the obligation, you are actually settling it before that date. So if you are doing it like this, then the margin that you need is actually lessened, right? And this is the reason, that is why this decision was taken. So basically, while calculating the residual losses for positions on which early pay in are given by the clients or brokers and margin exemption are granted, as I told you that margin will be lesser if you are doing the early pay in, then on such positions the clearing corporations were permitted to consider the margin exemption granted or value of early paid in goods, whichever is lower. So any of these things, it is considered whichever is lower, and on that the final loss figure is going to be calculated. So this is the main change that SEBI has done, and this framework, it will allow for a better stress testing methodology for the commodity derivatives. Number 12, SEBI mandates that mutual funds must use RFQ for 10% of secondary transactions. Now RFQ we have already discussed in a previous video. So basically it will be allowing to boost liquidity of secondary market bond transactions. So whatever the bonds we are buying or selling, it is mainly done OTC or over the counter. Now by using this RFQ platform, it will actually enable better price discovery, and this will also have an audit trail. So you can actually check what is the price last day, what is the price today, and this will will be much more transparent, and that is why SEBI has said that at least 10% you need to use, and later on they will be increasing this percentage if it is successful. So the mutual funds, they must undertake at least 10% of their secondary market trade in corporate bonds through the request for quote platforms of stock exchanges from October 1, 2020, and mutual funds must also disclose portfolio every 15 days, and all this will allow better price discovery. So they will be disclosing their portfolio also fortnightly, and this will in total help a lot to deepen our bond markets, which you know that they are not so deep. So this will be very useful. Now number 13, SEBI barred 5 core electronics and its promoters from securities markets. They had violated market norms and misutilized proceeds they had received from their IPO. So they had not utilized the IPO figure in the correct manner in their business, and the firm had failed to comply with provisions of the listing obligations and disclosure requirements LODR regulations. Now the LODR regulations are very important, so I hope that you are studying that for your SEBI grade A examination, and they had actually failed to comply with the LODR regulations. Number 14, Taurus Asset Management Company settles case with SEBI. So what was this all about? This was actually allegedly a fraudulent trading activity that Taurus AMC had actually conducted, and they settled it with SEBI by paying rupees 1.94 crore fine. So now the thing has been settled. This thing actually happened in February 2017 when Taurus Mutual Fund took a huge hit on 4 of their debt schemes when Ballarpur Industries Limited, the built paper, defaulted on their debt, and Taurus knew about it early but did not pass on this info to the investors. So what had actually happened was that they knew that built paper was facing some financial difficulties, but what they did, they actually just secured their own exit. So they redeemed their own investments, the employees' investments, and they did not tell the investors. So this is why SEBI had actually filed a case against it, and now they have settled this case. So this is over. Now let us move to number 15. SEBI imposes fine of rupees 1 crore on CARE Ratings in RCOM case. So this is due to the lapses by CARE Ratings in assigning credit rating to non-convertible debentures of Reliance Communications RCOM. So RCOM had later defaulted on the debt of rupees 375 crore principal and interest of rupees 9.7 crore in 2017. So because RCOM had defaulted and they had not actually prematurely given us warnings, that is why CARE Rating has been fined, and CARE did not monitor the creditworthiness of RCOM in a timely manner and was late to review and downgrade the rating. So basically CARE Ratings did not actually do their job as a CRA, and that is why SEBI is penalizing them. Let us move now to number 16. SEBI offers one-time settlement for generation of artificial trade volumes. Now what is all this about? So SEBI has found that 14,720 entities have been involved in generation of artificial volumes by executing non-genuine or reversal trades, and initiated adjudication proceedings against 567 entities. So basically what actually happened in this, they are saying, so some companies, they intentionally took some losses, and other companies, they intentionally profited. So this was done so that they could siphon off the money and put it into their own pockets, and this is what SEBI has actually detected, and this is why this is actually called artificial trade volume, because these trade volumes, they are just used to enrich themselves, and that is the entire story. So these people who are not availing the one-time settlement will be liable for action as per section 15(1) of the SEBI Act 1992, and some entities, they made, as I told you, significant losses, and others made significant profit by these stock option trades in 2014 and 2015. So this was the entire thing that was done, and for that SEBI is penalizing them. Number 17 and the final item for today, SEBI relaxes margin trading norms after representation from brokers. So now for any short collection of upfront margin, penalty will be deferred by a month, and if brokers collect a minimum 20% upfront margin, then the penalty for short collection or non-collection of margin shall not be applicable. So this was basically done because in this pandemic situation, the brokers were facing a lot of difficulties, and SEBI has temporarily given some relaxation regarding this. So the relaxation, it will be applicable from September 1st, 2020. And another thing that SEBI has done, earlier a trader could utilize his shares as margin using a power of attorney. So only by telling that I am giving you the power of attorney, they could actually execute this trade and they could use the shares as margin. But now SEBI has changed it. Now securities must be pledged with the broker as margin, and only then you can execute your trades. So that is all about the SEBI current affairs for July 2020. I hope that you learned something from this video and that it was beneficial to you. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like on this video and share it with your friends. And if you want to see more of this kind of content, please click on the subscribe button and do not forget to click the bell icon so that you, my friend, do not miss any future update. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.